So let's get right down to it. The rowing machine does not care about you. It has no feelings towards you, good or bad, but most importantly, it does not care how hard you work. The machine does not reward you for the effort you put in. Instead, the machine is only going to reward you for the efficiency with which you apply your effort. Where we get into a lot of trouble as athletes is we fight against the machine. And that's a losing battle. The rowing machine will beat you every single time. So if we understand that we'll never beat the machine on any given stroke, it's really about figuring out how to work with the machine. And the way that we work with the machine is understanding the ebb and flow of the flywheel. As we've talked about in other videos, when you arrive at the front end of the rowing stroke, that is the slowest that the fan is moving within the machine. That is the heaviest part of the rowing stroke. Now, the fan doesn't stop. So the front end of the rowing stroke is not as if we're picking up a rock, moving it, setting it down, coming back to the front end, picking up a rock, moving it, and setting it down. The fan is still spinning. It is spinning more slowly and thereby heavier than it is at the finish of the stroke. And as we've talked about before, what happens during the drive of the stroke is that we're creating acceleration. So as we accelerate, as we put power into the machine and accelerate the machine through, that elevates the fan speed. That makes the fan lighter. Once we finish, and as we start to come back into the front end, that fan is going to start to slow down, slow down, slow down. So our job around the front end of the rowing stroke is to connect to the fan at the speed that it is moving. No faster, no slower. And that connection at the front end is a feeling thing, not an effort thing, but a feeling thing. So we want to arrive feeling that fan, connecting to it and adding to it. Feel it and go. Assess how the fan is moving and then add to it. If we arrive at the front end of the rowing stroke and we're paying no mind, no attention to how the fan is moving, and we just decide to kick out and press the legs, a lot of times we end up overdoing it, kicking the legs, shooting the slide, then the back connects. We lose connection. We're over-efforting at the front end of the rowing stroke. It becomes cumbersome. It becomes harsh. It becomes violent. And the rowing machine does not respond to harsh and violent movement. The rowing machine is built to mimic the water. Although we're using air, we're using wind resistance against the fan as the resistance mechanism for the rowing machine, it is built to mimic the feel of the water. And by definition, water is fluid. We, too, want to be moving in a way that is fluid. Now, fluid doesn't mean that we can't row with power, with acceleration, with effort. We can bring all of those things in, but it needs to be a fluid motion. We need to be moving in a way that fluidly moves through the rowing stroke. We can be strong, but we can also be fluid in our movements. So working with the machine is not about overcoming the machine. It's not about beating the machine. It is not about pulling so hard that the machine submits. That's just not going to happen. When we started this video, I told you this machine has no feelings about you. You are not going to do a workout, a piece, a test, and finish that, and the machine's going to say, great job, you worked so hard. Here are some good splits. Here are some good numbers. Here's some good wattage. Here's a good time. Instead, the machine is calculating every single stroke how efficiently you applied the power. So it's not just about how much power you're putting in the machine. It's about whether or not that power is being captured, whether or not that power is being put into the machine fully, or if you're just fighting the machine and it's going to fight you back. And when the machine fights you back, that's when we lose wattage, lose splits, lose speed, and tire ourselves out. Within the system of the erg and rower connected together, you and the machine, the only thing that gets tired is you. If we continue to fight the machine, we will get tired faster. We will lose speed faster. We will fatigue faster. So what we really want to make sure is that we're not over-efforting. If we over-effort it, it's only a matter of time before we become too tired. If we under-effort it, we're not going to be pleased with the outcome because we're just not getting the averages that we're looking for. We're not getting the speed we're looking for. We're not covering the distance we're looking to coverage or the wattage that we want. So it's really about understanding this is too much, this is too little, this is it every single stroke, right here. And then pinning it right there. Rowing is a very monotonous sport. You need to do the exact same thing every single stroke, over and over and over. But it's monotony done at the highest of levels. You need to make sure that each and every stroke you take is high quality, highly efficient, high quality strokes every single stroke over and over and over. And the machine rewards that. So how do we feel the front end of the rowing stroke? There's not really a specific drill that I can equip you with to feel it, but there is a focus. If we set ourselves up well and the arms come out, the body comes forward, and we just float into the front end. No muscular activation or effort, no tension in the legs as we come forward, but just simply good positioning, nice, easy float. We're now in the best position to feel connection at the front end. If, on the other hand, we don't get the arms out and we don't get the body set, we're definitely not in a good position to feel the front end. If we are in a body forward position with the arms outstretched, but we control with the legs and the muscles are already firing before we come into the front end, very difficult to feel. And just a note on that, during the recovery, if there is muscular tension, if we're pulling ourselves up the slide, if we are controlling the slide, that represents muscular action. And an already tight muscle is not one that's going to fire well at the turnaround of the front end. If, on the other hand, we're nice and loose and we're floating freely into the front end, much easier to press out. And when we take that catch, it's connection. It's not effort. We're looking to arrive at the front end of the rowing stroke and to feel suspended between the feet and the handle. To feel pressure on the feet, pressure on the handle, because we have connected at the speed the fan is moving, and then we're going to add to it as we press through. Rowing is a sport of 1,000 metaphors and analogies, and one that seems to resonate with a lot of athletes is that of a swing. You're back on the playground, you're 12 years old, your friend is on the swing, swinging back and forth on the playground swing. They want to go higher. They've been kicking their legs, they're trying to get that swing going higher, but they want to go even higher than that. So they ask you, they say, hey, can you push me? Can you push me and help me get higher? And so as they swing forward, you watch them go, and as they come back towards you, what do? As they're coming back, do you slap on their back to send them forward again? Or at the peak of that swing back, do you feel their low back and press them through? Right? They come towards you, you feel that, and you press them through. That's what the front end is like. Another analogy, you're in a room, you got a door. You're a teenager, you're upset, you want to slam that door. I know that's stereotypical, teenager slamming doors, but it does happen. The door is open, and you want to slam that door. And if this is the door, are you coming up to that door and slapping that door? Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to come to that door and feel that door and then send it through the hinges? The rowing stroke is exactly the same. If you activate your drive, activate your legs, press away without feeling connected, suspended between feet and handle on the machine, it is not going to be an effective drive. It is going to be tiring. It is going to be a violent motion out of the front end. You will be fighting the machine. You will be punching the machine. It will punch you back. You want to feel that front end is connecting to that swing and sending your friend. That front end is feeling that door and sending it through the hinges. All of this happens way faster than I could possibly explain it. That's the connection. You are addressing that feel, that connection between the feet and handle like that. So again, there's not a drill for it, But there are certain things that you can do specifically off the back end as we set up. And in another video that we have recently posted, we do talk in great detail about how to come off the finish of the rowing stroke. And we'll put that video up there for you guys to click on and have a look. But getting that proper setup off the back end when the seat is not moving, that is the right time to get set up so that all that is left to do from this position is just float through the front end of the rowing stroke. And that's through timing, not control. It's not getting ourselves set up and then controlling up the slide and then pressing out. Instead, it's just getting set up and floating long and through so that we can feel that connection and press out of the front end of the rowing stroke. So setup's a big thing. And then from that setup, having the right setup, there has to be that mentality that you need to feel pressure against the feet and handle before you're getting that drive, before you're putting that full press onto the legs. Figuring out how to work within the physical parameters, the physical restraints of the rowing machine will ensure that you are rowing at the highest level possible every single stroke without overdoing it, without underdoing it. And that's what creates durability and efficiency in your rowing stroke after stroke after stroke. We are not losing any energy to fighting the machine. We are working with it. We are encouraging it along every single stroke. In the same way that your friend swings towards you, you connect and encourage them to go to their highest height possible as they swing away. And they come back and you encourage them to go to their highest height. There's movement the whole time. There's an ebb, there's a flow, and you encourage through the drive phase that acceleration. You are not in the habit of coming into the front end, picking up the rock, moving it, setting it down. Picking up the rock, moving it, setting it down. Instead, you're trying to keep that fan moving and trying to spin it along, and each and every stroke you add to it. You connect to it and you add to it. You connect to it and you add to it. And that becomes an important part of your efficiency and durability in your rowing stroke so that you can row at the highest level possible, the highest speed, the highest wattage for the longest period of time. If you found this discussion about feelings useful, please like, subscribe, visit our ever-growing catalog of content, and know there's plenty more content coming your way soon.